Hey, everybody, it's Saturday night. Welcome to Mental Health Matters. And it's been a little bit crazy. Like everyone's life is a little bit crazy these days, as far as I can tell. But why are we here? Because two out of every three gun deaths you hear about are suicides. And if we actually want to help save lives, we have to talk about mental health. So here we are talking about mental health. If all we do is say, hey, if you're worried about someone, give them a call, say hi, ask how they're doing. If you're really worried about someone, you could always do a wellness check. You can actually call 911 if you need to and have someone go check. And then you can just call 211 and or 988. So the 988 thing that we throw across here, which I'm sure DJ will throw that up shortly. We were scrambling to get on live because I forgot to send him the link again. It is always my fault. Well, almost always. Um, so there's so many ways to help somebody who is in need. Number one, pick up the phone, call them. Number two, know that there's things that you can listen to or call. And here's the thing about these numbers, which I don't think I say often enough. Even if you are not the person in crisis, you can utilize 988, you can utilize 211 to talk to somebody and say, hey, I've got my friend who's in crisis. I could need some help. What are the resources? Because I know 211 is really good like that. Now, 988 is our nationwide, but the reality of it is it just sends you to your 211 in your state. So, tonight, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about how what you put in here is super duper important. So right now y'all are here and I'm ignoring the chat, but hi everybody and thank you for popping in and saying hi over there. What's up, Buttercup? Um, so what we put in here is super important, and you have a choice of what goes in there. There is a reason I have not been on social media a lot lately because I've been silly busy. But what I noticed, because I didn't intentionally get off social media, it just sort of happened because I just haven't been in front of a computer, barely on my phone, running around exhausted most of the time. And you know what? Social media can be helpful because there's some really amazing people out there, and then social media can be awful because there's also some really awful people out there. But tonight, we're going to talk about feeding things from pages of actual books. The Greatest Salesman in the World by Og Mandino. One of my favorites. I have been reading this book since I was in high school. I can't tell you what year in high school, but I know I've had this book since high school. Have I had this exact book? No. My original book fell apart a long time ago. This is one of those books that I have bought many copies of, traveled all over the place with, and have read over and over again. I'm not going to tell you all about it. However, I am going to read one of the scrolls to you because one of the things it talks about in here is kind of the key to paying attention to what's going on here because it has a very specific thing that you read. So let me find one of the scrolls. Here we go. I'm going to start with the scroll marked 5. It is chapter 12 in the book. I will live this day as if it is my last. And what shall I do with this last precious day which remains in my keeping? First, I will seal up its container of life so that not one drop spills itself upon the sand. I will waste not a moment mourning yesterday's misfortunes, yesterday's defeats, yesterday's aches of the heart. For why should I throw good after bad? Can sand flow upward in the hourglass? Will the sun rise where it sets and set where it rises? Can I relieve the errors of yesterday and right them? Can I call back yesterday's wounds and make them whole? Can I become younger than yesterday? Can I take back the evil that was spoken, the blows that were struck, the pain that was caused? No. Yesterday is buried forever, and I will think on it no more. So what's that telling us? What's in the past stays in the past, yes? I will live this day as if it's my last. And then what shall I do? Forgetting yesterday, neither will I think of tomorrow. Why should I throw now after maybe? Can tomorrow's sand flow through the glass before today's? Will Will the sun rise twice this morning? Can I perform tomorrow's deeds while standing in today's path? Can I place tomorrow's gold in today's purse? Can tomorrow's child be born today? I will live this day as if it is my last. So, one of the things I've talked about in the past is depression is the sadness of trying to change something that's already happened, and none of us can do that. And in the first few paragraphs of this scroll, it's like, yeah, let it go. It's already done. You can't fix it. Anxiety is that fear of looking forward and wondering what could be and worrying and that sort of thing, or hoping to control what the outcome is going to be. So this day is all I have, and these hours are now my eternity. I greet this sunrise with cries of joy as a prisoner who is reprieved from death. I lift mine arms with thanks for this priceless gift of a new day. So too, I will beat upon my heart with gratitude as I consider all who greeted yesterday's sunrise, who are no longer with the living today. I am indeed a fortunate man, and today's hours are but a bonus, undeserved. Why have I been allowed to live this extra day when others far better than I have departed? It is that they have accomplished their purpose while mine is yet to be achieved. Is this another opportunity for me to become a man I know I can be? Is there a purpose in nature? Is this my day to excel? I will live this day as if it's my last. So, one of the things we teach here at A Great Start Shooting School is be very present. Be aware of what's happening right now. And it goes on for another page and a half. But the way that this book worked in my life is that you had a scroll to read and you read it for 30 days. And you read words like that to make you think about where are you, what are you doing, and how should you be. There are other, the scroll mark 3 is my favorite because it's, I will persist until I succeed. And each one of the scrolls has a different message and it has a different way of making you think and look at things. So this is one of the book clubs for today because I said book club, let's read, because I was sitting on my couch and I was looking at my library and I'm like, I don't think I give you guys enough resources of things that will help you. This is absolutely one of my favorites. Now, for those of you who don't read, because I know there's folks out there that don't read, they do have a lot of the scrolls on YouTube, easy enough to find that people have read them. So that's just one example. Now, I told you I'm not looking at the comments. I see there's like 20 comments out there, and I'm doing my best because I do have DJ here, so I don't have to look. So I got Hillbilly up out there, and in another few minutes, we will have DJ give the official welcome on. But, so one, Og Mandino, greatest salesman in the world. And no, it's not about salesmen. It's a much different story. And I've told you some of the information, but not all of it. And I promise you, it's a quick read in that it's really little. It doesn't take that long. Another thing we can do is learn brief history of time from the Big Bang to black holes, Stephen Hawking's. If you'd like to widen your prospects on understanding physics, time, space, dimensions, what's gravity, what is the study of the Big Bang to black holes, it's actually written in a way that most people can understand. Again, not crazy, but it's just like, let's learn about black holes. What is a black hole besides what you see when we watch some sci-fi movie? What really happens? The thing about physics that I don't think a lot of people know is it's a lot like psychology because there's things that are knowns and there are things that are unknowns, and there's a lot of conjecture of, well, we think this does this and that does that. And so it's just another way to solve problems. A couple weeks ago, I was talking about Jocko, and Jamie had one of his books. And I do not have the book that Jamie was talking about, which, I don't know, Jamie, if you're out there, you can say. But this one that I have is Discipline Equals Freedom. Field Manual. Now, this book, super easy to read. Not a whole lot of words on each one of the pages. And honestly, each page is basically its own chapter. So I love Jocko because one of my favorite videos he has is, what the heck is it? Oh, Good. If y'all look up Jocko Willink and Good, there's this, there's a YouTube on there that talks about, oh, so you didn't get the raise. Good. More time to figure out how to be better. Oh, you didn't get the deployment. Good. More time to figure out how to make things happen. And the discipline equals freedom, as I smash myself in the face with a Jocko book, because that's the thing we should do with it. It's super easy. Application of discipline. Ready? Discipline starts with waking up early. It really does. But that is just the beginning. You absolutely have to apply it to things beyond waking up early. It is working out every day, making yourself stronger and faster and more flexible and healthier. It is eating the right foods to fuel your system correctly. It is disciplining your emotions so you can make good decisions. It's about having the discipline to control your ego so it doesn't get out of control get out of hand and control you. It's about treating people the way you would want to be treated. It is about doing the tasks you don't want to do, but you know will help you. Discipline is about facing your fears so you can conquer them. And that's just one page in here. There's lots more like that. Because how many times have we learned something? We know the thing that we're supposed to be doing, whether it's dieting, exercising, taking care of ourselves, giving ourselves a break, making sure we do the things we're supposed to do, doing the hard things. Like a lot of you guys are YouTubers out there and you guys make content like crazy and you've got videos and you do all this editing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I do like 1 or 2 edits once or twice a year, kind of, sort of, because it's a lot of work. But every book has a different flavor. For those of you who've never met Jocko Willink or read any of his stuff, I've never met him either, but apparently he's from around here because one of my neighbors went to school with him. But you will find stuff, and when you find it, it'll be interesting to you. And when it's interesting to you, then you will absorb it better. So, Mr. DJ, I see there's a bunch of stuff. I see there's some starred things. While I'm looking at the starred comments, would you like to say hi to everybody for me? And do I have to put you on the screen? I'm going to put you on the screen. See if that works.
Right on. I am so happy to be here another Saturday with you, and I would love to welcome everybody that's out there in the text chat to the show. First in the room was Gun Websites. We also have Chasing Ghost out there, the Krabby Turtle. Sorry if Fan 93 is in the room. So is Hillbilly Up, Mark Thomas, Viejo 2A, Chris Bulldog, Woods, the man from the Great Pacific Northwest is out there. Abigail Sorge Finnegan is in the room. So is Taryn Gomez, Mike Ballinger, and Edward Smith is the last one that I saw come in the room. I'll make sure that list gets updated before the end and let you know who else was here during the wrap up. But I highlighted a couple of things, and I wanted to bring this to the screen. Mark Thomas saying, I just bought a paperback copy of Meditations. Come on, DJ. That I expect to look.
What you taking tonight, DJ?
And he expects that that copy may look abused by the end of the summer. And that's a book that Woods is one of the fellas that has also read that and mentions that in the text chat out there as well. And it's Marcus Aurelius.
I was going to say, is it the one by Marcus Aurelius? I was just curious. Yes.
Yeah. And you want to talk about
too. That one's actually still up by the couch, actually.
See how all these great minds think alike? Bring yourself back up to the screen as well. I'm not quite as attractive.
Well, but the problem is it's only showing me that. All right, wait, I figured it out. See, there we are.
There we are.
All right. So wait, are we still talking or should I continue on? I got more.
I was just going to say a little bit more about those meditations. There are some great baseline lessons that apply to everyone out there as a member of humanity, living in the present, being tolerant of others, controlling your inner self because you can't control the outside world. One that's sort of difficult, well, is the most difficult for me, at least, is Memento Mori. It's remembering that you're mortal. Mortality is a thing, and that's not one that I like to take a look at very often. But I'm glad to have meditations and people who are familiar with that work out there as well.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, we do have it. And it's also another one of those nice ones that, just like sort of the Jocko book, you can just kind of pick it up, open it up to just about anywhere and just read something and you'll get something out of it. And that's just it. I rarely read books front to back. Og Mandino and the Salesman is probably the example of, I read it once front to back, but then I just started doing the scrolls on a regular basis. So yeah, so there is that. All right, next, Taryn says, I read Shakespeare before bed and my husband thinks I'm loony. Yeah, I actually like Shakespeare. I had an amazing English teacher when I was a freshman in high school, and we did Midsummer's Night Dream. And when you are I don't know, how old were we, 14 or something, when you're a freshman, it's just like to find out just how dirty the play really was. It was sort of X-rated once you started to understand Shakespeare. So I thought that was pretty funny. Now, DJ, being the person you are, have you ever acted in a Shakespeare play?
I have. And Readers Theaters are for the same. And just a couple of weeks ago, I got to see, I don't know if Midsummer Night's Dream is my favorite Shakespeare, but it's a top 3. And I got to see that with my high school English teacher, my mom.
Gotcha. Oh, there's the Marcus Aurelius thing. In case anybody want to know, there's like 5 million different versions of it out there. But that is one of them. All right, next. Pretty much the only book I read is the Bible. So many adventures, exciting people in every storm makes your life better. Yeah, so when it comes to the Bible, if any of you have ever seen the movie The Princess Bride, there is the beginning scenes where the grandfather comes in with the Princess Bride and talks about how it's got everything. It's got sports, it's got romance, it's got fights, it's got all of that. And it's just like, I just think of the Bible every time I hear that, because it's just like, yep, you want family life, you want how to win a war, all sorts of stuff. It does have everything. It is true. And Taryn, I'm glad you're doing some dry fire. And yes, I will see you next week. Taryn's got some classes coming up on the books. So, all right. So there's where we're at for right now. I only have 3 more books. We will be done relatively soon, theoretically. So should I put you back in the background, or do you want to stay up here while I'll bring up the rest? He's like, no, I'm out of here. Well, he asked me if I put him up. So anyway, all right, different voices of different books. One of the other ones I actually have read front to back, Green Lights by Matthew McConaughey. And to be fair, I've also listened to it and he reads it. And so it's like, I like his voice. It's true. But the thing that was interesting to me is, long ago and far away, I was a Mary Kay lady. And when you're in sales, there's all sorts of things that you learn. And in Mary Kay, they're very much about the golden rule, only do unto others what you would do unto yourself, and that sort of thing. But I just remember, and the reason Green Lights makes me think of it is, I remember people saying, well, I need this, this, and this to be in order before I can start my Mary Kay career. Or I need this, this, and this before I can order my face products, or whatever it is. And in Mary Kay, what I learned was, the question we would ask them is like, okay, so when you get up in the morning and you're going to get in your car and you're going to drive to work, do you sit in your driveway until all of the lights are green? The answer is no, we do not. And when reading this book, one of the things Mr. McConaughey talks about is that we need all of the lights. We need our red lights. We need our yellow lights. We need our green lights. We can't just have green lights all the time. We have to notice when our yellow lights are popping up in front of us. We have to notice when our red lights are popping up in front of us. Matter of fact, earlier this week, my act was backing up. My back was acting up, and I was sitting in my chair trying to rest my back. And one of my friends was home, and she says to me, she's like, "Well, maybe your body's telling you, maybe you should just stop, calm down." And it's just like, yeah, sometimes when we're sick. Oh, Hillbilly, by the way, hope you're feeling a lot better because I know you've been sick. But sometimes when you're sick, it's just like, okay, God's like, nope, you lie down, you just relax, you stop doing all of the things you're doing. Because none of us enjoy sickness, right? We're not like, oh, yay, I've got a fever and I feel like garbage. I'm just going to lie here for a while. No, pretty sure that is not it. But that would be a yellow light or a red light, possibly. The other thing I like about the book is it's just a bunch of stories. So I love just opening random books up and says, green light. We are not here to tolerate our differences. We are here to accept them. We are not here to celebrate our sameness. We are here to salute our distinctions. We are not born into equal circumstances or with equal abilities, but we should have equal opportunity. As individuals, we unite in our values. Celebrate that. So, yeah. And that's the other thing I love about books. It's easier than scrolling on the internet. It's easier than reading a Facebook page. And I can just grab something that I'm drawn to, open up the pages and find something. And so Jamie, the book that he has is Extreme Leadership. Yeah, and I thought that's what it was. And the Extreme Ownership. And so not the same as discipline equals freedom. But like I said, I just like it because not a lot of words. And I can do little snippets. I'm very much a little snippet person. And Viejo, I feel for you. I am sorry that your back is acting up as well. Back problems are no fun. Not that any kind of pain is any kind of fun, but burn backing up too. I don't know if you did that typo because I messed up, but just in case, make sure I read it the way you had it. Another book, The Underdog Advantage by Dean Graziosi. So, Dean Graziosi, what do I want to say? I listen to him on podcasts on a regular basis. I love his enthusiasm when I listen to the stuff he talks about. And the thing, what's in here? Sorry. Open a book and find a sticker, randomness. The underdog advantage is just like nobody is given everything. Everybody has to work for something. And the nice thing about this as well, there's small chapters. It's easy to flip open to something and just be like, The really short part of this is be consistent when you're trying to succeed. The stories out there of people like Colonel Sanders, for example, is one of my favorite that I hear all the time from Tony Robbins, not Dean Graziosi. But it's just like Colonel Sanders had his chicken recipe and he had his restaurant idea, and he went to not 5 or 10, not 20 or 30, not 50 or 60. He went to hundreds of banks to ask for money to start his dream. Not a couple, not here and there. Hundreds of banks. Most of us these days can't handle being told no once, much less 5 or 10 times. Back to my Mary Kay days, when I was doing sales, it's one of those things where we had a no game. And the goal was we needed to get to 100 no's. And so when we went to ask somebody, hey, I'm still in Mary Kay, I've got this challenge. I'm trying to offer people facials, or would you like to have a party? And my goal is to get 100 no's. And so it gave me, as a salesperson, Ready? The opportunity to ask for the no. Because when that's what you're asking for and that's what you're focusing on, then all of a sudden, asking Tara, I'm like, hey, Tara, I'm just trying to get to my 100 no's. Would you like a facial from Mary Kay? And if Tara says no, then I'm one step closer to my goal. If Tara says yes, I'm one step closer to a different goal. So this is where looking for the no's, understanding rejection is one step closer to your success, all of those things. Oh, and apparently I'm on the universe in a nutshell, because we already talked about the brief history of time, but the universe in a nutshell. Also, Stephen Hawking, it's fun to look at the universe. It's fun to pretend you're part of the Big Bang Theory. And I don't know, Einstein's always been one of my favorites. So we're learning stuff. All right, what we got? Chico Wise. I made this time, keep missing lifetime, doing a great job. Thank you so much. I'm just clicking on things because DJ put stuff up. All right, reload the show when it ends. Leave a comment. It only takes a moment, but it helps a lot. All right, some of these Brief History of Time are also available as audiobooks, probably free from your library as well, and digital downloads. Absolutely. Yeah, so we have no excuse not to expand our minds, but think about the thing you actually want to expand. Because unfortunately, the news has lots of things that we can expand our mind with, and none of it makes you feel better. So pick something that's interesting to you. Pick something that maybe you suck at. And that's one of my favorite things is, what do I not know? Or what do I need to know more about that makes sense, that makes me happy? Because that's not what the news does for us. That's not what the average feed does for us. It's like, I'll go on Facebook to look at someone like Taryn and check out what she's doing, what crazy thing her son has come up with to cook today or something like that. I will go to see friends' pictures and that sort of stuff. But it's nice to have something you can just grab, open up, and look at. I don't have it here, do I? I do not. Now I even forgot which one I'm looking for. Oh, I've got a lot of those books that are a prayer a day, or 24 hours in a day. Anyone who's ever had a friend who has been through AAA is picking up your car. Alcoholics Anonymous only has 2. But anyway, one of my friends has been Alcoholics Anonymous member for a really long time. And he had this 24 hours a day book that was in his bathroom. So that's how I got to find it. And I got it for him. And people are like, are you an alcoholic? I'm like, no, just lived with them. But just like we're talking about the Bible, it's like there's so much good information out there. And you just have to look for what the good stuff is. You have to look for the stuff that resonates with you. And I'm not trying to pick on Tara, and I don't even know if she's here or not because I didn't pay good enough attention. But it's one of those things where it's just like, if you guys go watch Tara's live stream on Sunday nights, DJ helped me out there. But it's just like, she plays the music that is interesting to her to learn. And when you're learning something new, you want to find something that makes sense to you. Like Hillbilly said earlier, it's like he reads the Bible, and that's his main go-to. And there's so much to read. And here's the other thing about reading any book over and over again. It's like, one of the things I think about the Bible is like, I was a Sunday school teacher when I was like 14, and I'd gone to church all of my life. And I'm like, until I became a Sunday school teacher, I'm like, I actually don't know anything that's in here. I don't know the books. I don't know Old Testament versus New Testament, all of that sort of stuff. And like, there's tons of stuff. And then if you get really ridiculous, and I don't have any of my Bibles up here, but so you get into a teaching Bible. And so you read the thing, and then you read about where it was, and you read about the time period. And it's just like, learning is never going to hurt you. Wait a second. I'll take a facial and a new face. Sounds nice. What did I miss? just like, but anyway, all right, Mr. DJ, we're at 30 minutes. I'm actually starting to lose my voice. So I think this is probably a great time. Oh, and there she is, little Miss Taryn. Yes, not yeah. And I'm going to call Tara Taryn because they start with T's. And Taryn knows how hard it is to say, I can say her name. I just happen to spell her name wrong all the time. All right, Mr. DJ, you said you had some books you want to talk about because we talked about this last week.
Well,
What
there
were
was
they?
there was one that I ran into in junior high because it was on my stepmother's bookshelf. And have you ever read Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance?
I have not.
The title does not help. What it is it's actually it's a travel log written about a motorcycle trip from like from the upper Midwest to Montana, then California, a father-son sort of thing. And the Zen of the art of motorcycle maintenance itself, it's physical maintenance of the motorcycle becomes the Zen activity. And it's divided up, and Persig, that's the author, has what he calls chautauquas, and he doesn't use that word in the typical sense. But he gives breakdowns. It was kind of one of my introductions to, well, I know that philosophy is a thing. I'm like 12 years old, and I've heard names like Plato and Socrates, but the chautauquas sort of break down the thoughts of some of those classic thinkers and make the suggestion that technology isn't as sterile or antiseptic as it might seem, because if you are mindful, and that's something that's like one of those terms that's popped up, mindfulness, in the last 20 years, more and more. If you become aware of what it is that you're doing and you become involved in that repetition, I mean, we had somebody doing dry fire practice. I'm pretty sure that most people in the chat tonight can relate to the zone or Zen that you get into when you're taking apart a firearm, inspecting it, cleaning it, putting it all back together. Everything goes just so. And if you try to force things like it is in motorcycle maintenance, firearm maintenance, or in life, you're not going to find the successes that you might have found if you showed patience and thoughtfulness, mindfulness in what it is that you're doing. I myself can attest to breaking things before fixing them sometimes. It's not the best way to be.
No, and actually one of the things I warn all my students about when it comes to shooting is that you're working on your skills, you're working on your grip, you're working on trigger pull, just so sight picture and that perfect trigger squeeze, and you get the perfect shot. And it feels like you didn't really do anything. So then you want to try. And as soon as you start trying, that's when the wheels fall off. And it's just that being in the moment and doing the thing. Another Zen book is Zen Bow, Zen Arrow. And probably the best one is you're up on target with your bow and you're seeing the arrow hit your target before you release it. And then it just is. And so that is kind of it.
Do you have, or are you familiar with Benjamin Hoff's The Tao of Pooh or The Tale of Piglet?
We have those.
Yeah.
Actually, my karate teacher is the one who gave them to my son. We have both of them. He says he likes the Tao of Pooh better than the Piglet one. But, whoops. Part of the book using aluminum stove cans as shims on the BMW. You can use anything for anything, apparently. So.
Well, adaptability to the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Taking a look, sometimes in trying to find that perfection I understand practicing toward it, but anytime you get down on yourself or not, anybody gets down on themselves for not having perfection out of something, it's like, come on now, for real. If you observe somebody else doing it and it looks so fluid, it's probably not just naturally acquired. Almost nothing that we do as humans is that easy or that naturally acquired. It definitely takes practice. It takes repetition. Check this out from Chasing Ghosts, just come to your screen now. Same with guitar. in the zone. And there are beautiful moments of composition that will happen when I'm just noodling around on a guitar. The symphony in my mind is so expansive. And sometimes when I hit a playback, if I happen to be recording because I think this might be a really great riff sort of thing, it's like, wow, that was oversimple, dude. You really thought you were somewhere that no one else has been before. And that's another thing, the perspective that kind of mindfulness will give you. Yeah, it's of inestimable value.
Yeah. I mean, like, so being in competition and running a course of fire, getting done, and I'm like, oh my God, that was so slow. And, you know, decent hits, all of that. And then running the next stage and the next stage and the next stage, you're like, oh my God, I totally burned that down. It's amazing. And then you go and see the scores. And almost always that one where I thought I was slow is one of my best of the matches. And then I go look at the one where I thought I totally burned it down. It's one of my worst. So it's just like, yeah, being aware of what's going on around you. It's pretty crazy how, and this is why, like, the brief history of time, bending time, understanding kind of the idea behind it, that sort of thing. It's just like, it's really, you can go down so many rabbit holes.
My copy of that Hawking book, you can tell that I give up about 30 pages in 6, 7, 8, 9 times over. I've just never gotten that far into it. The pages are well thumbed. They're turned back. It's a hardcover copy, for God's sake. But
that's what I'm saying, man. Just open up randomly and just read something, because they don't have to be, what is it? One after the other. Serial. There we go. I'm being serial about this.
See, I had an expectation that I'd be able to invite myself into those pages and have very little issue with them. And I wasn't having trouble understanding what was being said. If there are any words that I don't know, I look them up so that I do, and then go back and read for context to see if what I thought I understood is what I really now understand, sort of thing. And so through that, I guess that process of making sure that I was up to the task of Stephen Hawking, that's probably one of the things that limited me ultimately. I got more frustrated with myself than what it was that I could have been learning.
You're missing
and decided.
Take what
say
serves
again?
you. I said you're missing the zen of learning. It's take what serves you, leave the rest behind. But with that, we're almost 40 minutes. And, you know, Hillbilly's got a party to have at the top of the hour. So I'm going to say thank you all for coming. Dee is going to say hi to everybody. And if there's ever a book you want us to talk about, by all means, leave it in the comments, since DJ already asked for y'all to actually, leave a comment. So, or tell us in the comments tonight, what book did you like that we brought up, or what book do you think I should talk about next time?
That's a great idea. I hope that everybody does take Brooke up on that. This evening, we were joined by Gun Websites, Chasing Ghost, Krabby Turtle, Sorry Fan 93, Hillbilly Up was out there. So was Mark Thomas. Hey, man. Viejo 2A was in the room. So was Chris Bulldog. Woods is out there, probably still. Abigail Sorsha Finnegan, Taryn Gomez, Mike Ballinger, Edward Smith, Jamie JH586. G23 Reviews was in the room. Didn't get an hour, but you got it licked, dude. Mario 3804 was out there. So was Chico Wise. Thanks, everybody, for coming in this week. It's great to see the numbers swell to nearly 20 while the live was happening. And next week, come on back and bring a friend. Until we see each other again, be safe, have fun, take care of yourself and your crew, and rock. We're out.